All right, what's going on, everybody? Gaby Card Stacks here. Today I went to my local card shop, DNA Cards and Collectibles here in Phoenix, and gave myself a $20 budget to try and go into their value bins and see what I can find to sell on eBay. I didn't have a card show to go to today, so wanted to have an alternate way of sourcing cards for inventory just to see what kind of opportunity is out there. I wanted to do a $20 budget just because, one, I think that's a little bit more realistic just for, someone who's just starting out. And also I feel like if I had a $100 budget, that's very easy to spend at a card shop. I feel $20 makes you feel a little bit more, I guess, intentional with your buys, and you have to be a little bit more selective and picky and really think about what you're picking up. So in the card shop, they had, and I mostly stick with football, they had a $5 rookie bin and a $2 rookie bin, and those are what I mostly stuck with. I pulled out a ton of $5 cards just that I had interest in. I didn't know exactly what I would ultimately get, but I always pick cards out to the side and then kind of sort through there. Started with $5 just to kind of work my budget around that, and then I'll get into the $2 bin. So I picked up 2 cards in that $5 bin. First was this Sam Howell optic. This I just kind of took a chance on to start. I feel like, again, Sam Howell is one of the hottest quarterbacks, I guess you could say, or best-selling quarterbacks. And at $5, I looked up comps, and this was going closer to 10. So not a bad pickup from that first stack that I had. The second one I got was this Aiden Hutchinson purple shock, and I don't think I would have pulled this out if I hadn't been on Twitter earlier in the morning, and I saw someone trying to sell this for $15 plain white envelope, and I, for whatever reason, paused for a second and thought, oh, that's kind of high. I feel, Trey Lance kind of goes for that much, and I went to recently sold, and some go, for 7 to 10, some also sell for 15, so we'll see. This is kind of a wild card. I listed this for 15, and we'll see what happens. So those were my $5 buys. Though I was pretty firm on those. Those were the 2 winners of the big $5 stack that I had. And then I went to work in the $2 bin. So everything was sorted by teams, which I guess is helpful just to kind of sort through a lot of the dupes that you see a lot. And a lot of the rookies, a lot of their inventory was more 2020 and newer. A lot of optics, select, parallels, things of that nature. I personally like when everything's jumbled up just because it gives me a better thrill or a better hit of dopamine, I guess you could say, when you do find that gem when you're just sifting through cards. But for the sake of time, I do think it is easier just to sift through, all the duplicates and all the kind of lower end rookies that might be in there. So this was the first card that I picked up. Cade York Orange Ice rookie. He's a kicker for the Browns. And of course, I've talked about Orange Ice quite a bit. It's the Fanatics exclusive, and I don't know exactly what the hit rate is out of a blaster, but when Prism comes out and they have the Fanatics exclusives, I know that those are always more desirable. Those sell for a little bit more. I learned that when Fanatics had like the drop, this was, I guess, when last year's set came out, and I noticed that the Fanatics sold for a little bit more. I was actually trying to sell them and flip them. I don't know how much they were. I did kind of a wild trade. I did cash in a Joe Burrow pink optic for like 4 or 5 blasters. So I just am fond of the Orange Ice, and of course color match. And Cade York, I remember specifically, I think he had a game-winning kick last year, and his LSU prestige cards were, I feel like, doing at least $10 at the time. So I don't know if he's got a market. I don't know if that was just because he didn't have a lot of cards or professional cards at the time, but color match, it's Fanatics exclusive for $2. That I did like that. Next card is this Sam Howell Prism rookie card, and I was going back and forth on this one and a few others. A couple of green ice. One was a Trey Sermon and another Jalen Camp. I know green ice is pretty short printed, and I feel like there was one more card. I wrote it down just to kind of keep it as a note here, but I decided to go with the Sam Howell just because some were going for $2 on eBay, but then some were also going for $5. So I listed mine for $5. We'll see how things play out, but again, I feel like it's something that's super liquid and can move, so I like that at $2. Of course, I mentioned that everything was in a team order, and so I was going through the New York Giants and saw these Kadarius Tonys, and I really liked these when I saw it. Light blue. For whatever reason, I feel like a few years ago it was like pretty short printed. Now I think it's not as short printed. I don't know if Tony's year was as short printed, but I did like this color match Tony on the Chiefs. Had a huge punt return in the Super Bowl. I think he's got a good little role in Kansas City coming up next year. Light blue, this does about $10 or so, so this was actually probably my best find, I would say. It depends how those $5 cards do, but I did like this find here. And then just went with the Prism Silver as well. Should do about $5 or $6 on that one. So I liked those buys compared to some of the other rookies and parallels that were in those boxes. They also had a veteran $2 box, so went through that really quickly and found my last card here. Rashawn Gary Red Shimmer. This is number 235. For $2, I like that. Green Bay is going to have, you know, a good fan base to sell to. Super low numbered. I just felt like that was kind of the best card to kind of round out my $20 here. So I am going to track my $20 here and see how much profit we'll make off of this. I would think this kind of nets about $15 in profit, and it would be interesting to maybe continuously go back to DNA and use these same funds over and over to try to flip up and kind of track that as my own little LCS challenge here. So I'll keep you updated on sales as things move, and I'll definitely be keeping track of this just because I'm kind of interested. I was pleased with the value bins, and it's a really great shop. I do like the folks that own it, so looking forward to going back and kind of revisiting this series throughout my channel. So that's everything that I've got for you. Let me know what you think of my buys at $20, and of course we'll keep you updated, and we'll see you in the next video.